Hello, class. This is Demetrius Wilson, BA 121, Chapter 10. Only six more to go. The presentation, the power of solving problems. So many problems that need to be solved, but if you are the individual that has the solutions and the answers to those problems, you will be very profitable. In the video ride along, the video presentation features Paul Blake, Vice President of Sales, Greater Media, Philadelphia. We've seen him in other chapters. He talks about the importance of preparation prior to the presentation as well as during the presentation, right? So as they say in project management, proper planning prevents poor performance. You must not go in there and wing it. You must plan the things that you need to do in your presentation. In the ride-along discussion questions, list the steps that you would take to prepare yourself prior to a sales presentation. I'd like for all of you guys to do that. It might not necessarily be a homework assignment, but I'd like for you to do it anyway. Analyze the importance of rehearsing prior to a presentation. And if you're a salesperson, you should definitely want to do this exercise. We'll talk about checklists and things of that nature that will help you during your presentation. Our chapter objectives, learn how to prepare for a sales presentation, discuss how to dress for a success for a sales presentation, right? You don't want to look bummy going in there to attempt to sell something. Learn how to deliver your message in a powerful and effective way, make it resounding with your audience. Understand spin and how to use it during the sales presentation. Learn the 5 steps of a successful sales presentation. Need to know that for sure. And understand how to prepare for a successful job interview. Like I say every lecture, those things at the end of talking about the interviews, those are really, really good. Even I look at those and talk about taking some of those tips myself into interviews. How to prepare for a sales presentation. Prior to the presentation, identify your ally and the prospect company and get additional details about the company. So who's your go-to person? Hey, John, you're in the audience. I want to keep asking you questions because you like my product and or service. Research briefly on everyone who will be attending the presentation. Plan the seating arrangement strategically, right? Walk through your mental rehearsals, right? So you want to do all these things. It's all part of planning. During the presentation, you want to use the names of everyone present. So you talk to people, use their name. It makes them feel good. Give the presentation a personal touch. You want to make it about them, but also about you. Show your personal capabilities and take a customer-centric approach, right? You want to do what's right for the customer, and if you do what's right for the customer, you will make a sale. Listen and sell, and you have to listen. Communicating is not just talking; it's listening. And the more you listen, the more sales you'll make. The video Want to Close More Sales, Then Listen Up features Chuck Barr, sales coach. He discusses the power of listening and providing some tips to listen effectively during your presentation. Listen effectively, get the keys to the kingdom, make the sale. Discussion questions, evaluate the role of listening during a sales presentation. So think about it. What role does that play? What keys do you hear coming back from them in terms of objections and or communication? List a few key pointers that would help you improve your listening skills. I know that I can improve upon my listening skills, try to enhance upon those skills from day to day. I'm sure we can all fix them a little bit. Pre-presentation checklist. So I'm not going to read through what's on the checklist, but I want you to pause right there, and or if you're looking at the PowerPoint within the TalentNet module, I want you to go through that and review those. It's very, very important to have a checklist to say these are the things that I need to have done prior to the checklist or prior to the presentation. These are the things that I need to do during the presentation. Right? See if you can, get 100% in terms of what you need to do before the presentation and also what you need to do during. Dress for success, very, very important. The video fashion advice for men, how to dress business casual. Men features fashion designer. He gives a few tips on menswear, business casual. The video what not to wear explains how dressing can affect your chances of success and promotion. A guy who I work with, he's since changed the way he dressed, but he would come in all the time with the hood on, and he would put the hood on, and his work was the same. But then when he changed the way he dressed, all of a sudden, like magic, ended up interviewing for a position and became a manager. So it definitely does. I understand you want to be comfortable at work, but if it stands between me and being promoted, I definitely will change the way that I dress. The video on what not to wear, summer work fashion, explains what is appropriate and inappropriate business attire for the summer. I'm pretty sure that those shorts, small shorts with juicy on the back, are not appropriate at any point in the office. So dress for success exercise. So it says, which of these is the appropriate way to dress if you are having a sales meeting with a client at a restaurant, right? So I want you to go through those. You don't have to tell me what you pick, but you should look at, like, this guy's got the sweater and and the collar shirt and the slacks on. He looks pretty good. This guy, yeah, may have somewhat of the right type of clothes on, but his tie is too short, looks kind of thrown together. It's like, a lot of times when you see a younger person going into an interview and they don't know what to do. This guy's got on this fashionable skinny jeans and tight sweater. Probably good for a fashion show, but not for going out dinner with the client. She looks pretty good with her business suit. So this guy, no, definitely with the Great Britain and the what is that, scarf around his neck. That's not what you're going to wear to out to a business meeting. Dress to Impress for Success features an HR consultant and a fashion house representative, demonstrates how to dress for interviews and in the office. Now, sometimes you can hear things, and I will say that I get a lot of backlash in terms of how I dress in the office, because I do wear a suit every day. I do take the jacket off, so I just have a shirt and tie and slacks on throughout the day, but it's an office environment where it's casual. It's casual Monday through Friday, which is great. Prior company I worked at, they had casual Friday, and then if you paid some money into this, it was like a fund, like a charity fund, you got Monday casual too. So that was pretty cool of them. But company I currently work at is casual all the time. So with me wearing my suit, it kind of, people look at it like, why this guy got a suit on? But I will continue to dress like that, not thinking or saying like, oh, I feel like I'm above anyone, but I feel like, I want to dress to impress. People see me, and they see like, hey, I can see that guy moving up through the ranks of the company. Making your presentation work. Structure your presentation. It depends on the size of your audience. So if I have 1,000 people, it's going to be different than if I only have two. Very personal if I have two. The location of your presentation. Where's it going to take place? I've done presentations in auditoriums before, and I've done presentations in people's cubicles before. The tools which you will be using during the presentation. We use a PowerPoint, we use a laptop, we use a laser pointer. You have to know what your tools are. Elements of an effective presentation. The video effective presentation features Terry Sargent, author of New Sales Speak. They discuss the 9 mistakes that salespeople make in a presentation. And do we make mistakes? We all make mistakes. I like to joke around and say I make about 17.5 mistakes a day. That's my quota. It's okay to make a mistake, but it's not okay not to learn from the mistake and continue to grow. Presenting to individuals and groups. So if you're presenting to an individual, easy to customize your approach. Knowing your buyer helps you deliver value, and send a pre-call questionnaire to contact and use the information gathered to create an agenda, right? So very, easy to get personable when you're presenting to individuals. Now, if you're presenting to groups, it saves time. It generates enthusiasm of people in an organization who can influence others. Adjust the presentation to the dynamics of the room. Tip, always ask for the size of your audience. Don't go in there thinking it's 10 people and it's 5,000. Don't go in there thinking it's 5,000 and it's only 2. Tip, keep your mind in the needs of each stakeholder, right? So stakeholders, they have, some stake in the game, and, you have to do what's best for them and get their mind in tune with what you're doing. Sell with success stories. So stories always help, whether it's an interview, whether it's a sale, stories are always good. Bob down the street, he bought 10 of these and he loves them. And he told me to come specifically down here to you and sell you 15. The video Selling with Success Stories features Rachel Gordon, account manager at WMGK. She discusses how she uses success stories to present her solutions to the new prospects. Group presentations, I'm sure most of you have done those before. Super sales presentation, sales training, presentation skills. Video can be helpful to learn some strategies for delivering presentations effectively. Learn a lot of different things, how to present, whether it be in front of people, whether it be online, whether it be just over a conference call. The right place and tools. The right place at your place of business, at a neutral location, at your prospect's place of business, via webinars and video conferences. What type of tools? The right tools. PowerPoint presentations, brochures, premiums, and leave behinds, right? I got this great marketing material I'll leave behind so you don't forget about me and you purchase my product. samples and demonstrations, cost-benefit analysis, and return on investment. ROI, if you don't know what that stands for, stands for return on investment. I invested this money in this, and how much of a return did I receive? Cost-benefit analysis, you need to say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. Does it match the benefit? Is the benefit higher? Right? So you have to do an analysis on those two. If it's lower, then you probably shouldn't do it. If it's higher, then hey, let's go that way. If the benefit outweighs the cost, why not? Do's and don'ts of a PowerPoint presentation. So on the left side, make your slides easy to read. This is the do side, obviously. Replace descriptive headlines with headlines that sell. Use a 10-20-30 rule, which we'll discuss shortly. Remember that the PowerPoint is only an aid, right? You shouldn't just read everything off of it and hold on to it to dear life. If you're doing a presentation. Don'ts. You don't want to turn down the lights because people will fall asleep, and I'm definitely one of them. Go overboard with technological gimmicks. Hide behind your computer screen when using a PowerPoint. Fill your slides with words before your audience bore your audience with visual sameness, right? So if there's no flair, doesn't do anything, for them aesthetically, when they're looking at it, then they're gonna go fall asleep, especially if the lights turn down. The video 10-20-30 presentation rule by Guy Kawasaki, a best-selling author. He explains how to use a 10-20-30 rule while creating your presentation. Very good video. Check that out. Powerful PowerPoint presentation tips. The video Slideology by Nancy Duarte showcases how to capture and inspire your audience with your PowerPoint presentation. Right? How do we capture them? How do we inspire the audience? Spin selling. We talked about this in the chapter objectives. As a customer-centered sales model, SPIN stands for the 4 kinds of questions successful salespeople ask their customers. So you have situation, you have problem, implication, and need payoff. So the steps in the SPIN selling: step 1, opening. Step 2, you investigate. Step 3, demonstrating capability. Step 4, obtain commitment. So I've had my opening, I've investigated, I see what's up, I demonstrate capability. Now I obtain commitment from you. I want you to go ahead and sign on the dotted line. So this you can do on your own, but classify the questions into appropriate categories: situation questions, problem questions, implication questions, and need payoff questions, right? So how many customers do you have? What is it? So classify the questions. So situation questions. The situation could be, but probably not. Problem question. It is really a problem question, but it could be disguised as something else. Implication questions and need payoff questions. So, maybe not so much in alignment, but you have to make sure that you understand the spin selling process and try to use it to the best of your ability, and that you're able to take these different ones and others and put them in the right category. More questions, so continue to read all those all the way to 8. So then we have our 5 steps of a successful sales presentation. I know that you just need to see this slide and all this key secret ingredient information. So you're going to build rapport. You guys all, especially if you're in sales, you already build rapport with people. Make a general benefit statement. Make a specific benefit statement, right? So we have our general statement, then we have our specific statement. Specific statement says this is, what we're targeting. Do our presentation, and then we close. ABC, as they say, always be closing. Don't be forgettable, whether it be in a job interview or in a sales appointment. Don't be forgettable. Don't have people just close the book on you so easy. So the video Persuasive and Effective Communication features Terry again, discusses how to elevate your presentation skills to another level. A lot of people take like Toastmasters, do all kind of different things that helps them with that. It's a document that proposes the specific terms of a sale, including pricing, delivery time, frame, and the scope of the products or services you're offering. Elements of a good proposal: you have an introduction, a definition, a discussion, how much it costs, time frame, call to action, and evidence. Right. So our objective to proposal is to educate the prospect, to convince the prospect, and to provide justification for the prospect's investment. Right. So we're providing justification for that. So to our favorite part, selling you. How do you sell yourself, especially in a job interview? Sell yourself in a job interview. Didn't even know that was a title. So 10 steps to successful interviews. Be ready to show and sell. Like show and tell, show and sell. Right? Be able to brag on yourself and your accomplishments. Accept and confirm the interview. Research the company and your interviewer. Rehearse your elevator pitch. Prepare your answers to popular interview questions. You can just grab those off of Google. Prepare your questions and answers. Prepare for the logistics. Prepare your wardrobe. Make a personal connection with the interview or during the interview, and follow up. A lot of things, but you guys are already doing most of those anyway. Craft your elevator pitch. Students can use a template elevator pitch builder from Harvard Business School to craft their elevator pitch. So tell me about yourself. I think that's right, actually. Okay. So the video interview tips. Tell me about yourself. Provides insight on how to provide a snapshot of who you are and why you're the best candidate for the position you are interviewing. Right. So you want to be able to put your best foot forward. The best interview answers. So best interviews. Like if you look up Google, you say, "Hey, top interview questions," and the answers. It'll come up, and it has lots of them. But the interview tips. The fatal interview sin features Brian Kruger. He explains how not to speak in generalities, but you must speak using specific examples. They have to be very, very specific. For successful interviews, the video How to Sell Yourself on a Job Interview features Lisa Peskin. She talks about your FAB message and close the sale effectively in your job interview to close it, right? So always be closing if you're selling Girl Scout cookies or if you're trying to get a job. It is the same type of thing. And to our summary, slide 34 of 34. While preparing for your sales presentation, focus on the essentials, your relationship with the prospect, and your pre-call objectives. Pay careful attention to your appearance. It is important part of your first impression. 4 steps to a spin sales call: opening, investigating, demonstrating capability, and obtaining commitment. And then a job interview is like a sales presentation. A successful interview requires a lot of preparation, right? You can't just go in there and wing it. Some people can, but typically that just doesn't work like that. So that's the end of chapter 10. Be sure to take your quizzes. Be sure to be on the lookout for any type of tests and your homework assignments. But other than that, I want you all to have a good day and a great week.